Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe targeted the push to take over control of the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department in his State of the State address this week in Jefferson City. Joining us now to talk about it, one of the top advocates for local control is the Chief, Robert Tracy. Good to have you on the record. I think your maiden voyage on this program.
It is, and thank you for having me, Mark.
We're glad to have you in the full dress blues, in the full brass and outfit there.
Giving the respect to your program.
We appreciate it. What is so far the best argument that you have heard for changing the model, reverting back to this panel of police commissioners? And if I can, one of the arguments, or one of the only tangible benefits that I've heard is that they feel somehow this might help with recruiting and bringing in new officers. How do you evaluate that?
So I can only evaluate coming in, always working under local control. We've had successes in every place that I've been in. I've never seen a model that's been successful, and right now we have another place that has the same type of model, and we're not seeing huge successes.
You don't like to name Kansas City by name, but for our viewers, that's the other city in Missouri that has this model.
That city is going through the same issues that we're going through with every city in the United States. Coming out of the pandemic, coming out of civil unrest. Let's not conflate the issues that St. Louis is the only one that has unique issues that the state has to come in and take control. If state control was the model that we should go by, then the other cities should not have the same struggles that we're having. And we're coming out of those things, and we can get into a lot of things that have been improving that the state has asked me to take a look at when I first came on 2 years ago. And they've asked me to take a look at those things and gave us benchmarks, what we've made progress and we've met. And so I don't see anything that the state model can do, looking at where it's been, what it's about, that actually can improve on what Mayor Jones is doing, giving me the autonomy and giving me the support to try to get the things done to help improve public safety in the city of St. Louis.
Is she giving you the autonomy? Because Representative Brad Christ, a Republican from Shrewsbury, South County, Southwest County, he told us just this week that if there was a panel of police commissioners and you answered to them, not just to her, that you'd have more latitude. You could implement your full plan. Is there anything you'd like to do that you can't do right now under this mayor?
In all respect to the representative, I think I have a better view and can answer that more accurately, and who I work for, how I can get my job done. One of the things is that I've been a chief before I came here, so I'm not promoted in learning how to be a chief. I've had a pretty good track record. Actually, this is the second city that I'm the first outsider in 200-year history. One of the things coming here, I'm not here for the title. I'm here to try to make a difference. I've had the title of chief. Moving my family 1,000 miles away, there are some things that I needed to come back should I be the police chief after I was chosen. Those things, I need the autonomy to get things done. I needed that agreement to have this mayor push politics aside, let me answer to the mayor, and make sure that I can get the things done and hold me accountable, give me the tools to get it done, and I will never surprise her. And the mayor has held her word and actually has moved things out of the way to allow me to do things that I've done in other places, and she's been remarkable in doing that. And everything that I'm doing, I'm able to do with the autonomy that a chief should have. I worry.
So did you just answer my question that there's nothing that you'd like to do that you can't do under this mayor?
Exactly. What the unknown of seeing something, answering to 5 individuals versus 1, and the person that I answer is the mayor that is accountable to the public that appoints the police chief. Boy, that's more accountable to the citizens and the community that we serve. 5 commissioners, 1 being the mayor themselves, and 4 appointed by a governor. Who are they accountable to? who do they answer to? And then who's accountable for crime? Is it someone that's appointed saying, well, it's the mayor. The mayor says, I'm not responsible for crime anymore because we have 5 commissioners. The commissioners, well, the chief should be responsible. But if you have 5 personalities are directing the chief what to do.
You have a new bureaucracy. Another layer of bureaucracy. We had the governor-elect.
But how do you hold those 5 accountable that have 3-year terms, staggering, versus a mayor that's up for re-election every 4 years and held accountable to the person? So you have people accountable to crime now.
Right. Those commissioners would be accountable only to the governor who appointed them, and they would serve, I presume, at the governer's pleasure.
Can I ask you this question?
Sure, we'll turn the tables. You can interview me.
So if crime starts to go up,
yeah,
if they're successful with state control, Who takes responsibility?
Well,
Does
I think
well, the chief, yes, they should. If you accept this position, the buck should stop here.
I think those commissioners would say the chief, and that's the question ultimately is.
Yeah, but the mayor would have to take responsibility on crime because she appointed the chief.
Sure.
Do this board of commissioners, and then does the governor take responsibility of crime going up? So it's kind of a safe way to go, to put people in charge of a chief, but not being held accountable. And then when you ask the mayor says, well, I don't have control over the police department anymore. So
You're saying basically just what government needs, more middlemen.
exactly. And it should stop at the chief, but if you have people that are in the way because of politics and personalities and not allowing the chief to do his job, then you know what? Then that's not a good way to govern, and that's not a good way to put a person in that position. And that's where I talk about politics getting in policing, especially with 5 personalities.
You know, I've been trying to learn and get to the bottom of this push. My understanding is the police union has pushed for it every year since local control came to St. Louis, including immediately after former Mayor Francis Slay brought about this voter-driven local control. The police union immediately started to go and fight for it. These guys work for you. The police union membership, they work for you. Have you had any internal conversations about the mood of the department? Why? They're the ones pushing for this. If they weren't pushing for it, it wouldn't exist, right?
Yes.
So, what's the mood in the department? Are the officers divided on this question?
Well, I believe the union a couple of years ago was looking for some steady leadership, as the state was. They put mandates, they put benchmarks in. I think we've met a lot of them. We've had progress in others. It's improved. The Police Officers Association had to get to know who their chief is, had to understand where the mayor was coming from. And what I've heard from some in the POA is that this isn't about the chief and this isn't about the mayor. We trust them to support us, to give us the raises. What they said is they don't trust in the future the new if there's going to be a new administration. We have elections, and if this chief moves on or he retires, then there'll be another chief. It's not about this chief and what's going on in the department. It's not about this mayor anymore because they've built that trust. They're worrying about securing it for the future. So that is the argument that I start to hear now. In the beginning, it was about crime, morale, pay, and we've tackled a lot of things. And we tackled them with the Police Officers Association. They want the best for the men and women, as I do and as the mayor does. So we've come to a consensus. So things have moved a little bit, but they're thinking of the future, and I'm quoting them what they're talking about. I think you have to have trust in the system that we have in place, but they haven't trusted it, and I think that's why they've reached out and wanted to go this direction.
If the state does take control of the police department and puts it under this board of commissioners, the commissioners would have the power to hire and fire a police chief. Do you feel in some ways that you're fighting for your job?
No, because I can only control what I do. I've been in this a long time. I've been a chief for quite many years. I've been in policing, started over 41 years ago. I'm in this. I know if you continue to do your job each day, and you know you're doing the right thing for the troops, for the community, and you're loyal and you trust your own judgment and try to do the right thing. I can only control that. So I'm in this, Mark, out of want, not out of need.
Sure, I understand.
I could do a lot of other things in life, and I have been in the private sector. But I'm doing this because it's a passion, because I care about this profession, I care about the troops, I care about community, and I want to see this through. But it has nothing to do about job security. It's about principle of making sure it's done right, and principle to make sure that this is a better way for this city, and I think it would be a wrong move to go. So it's more principle. It's not job security. There can be elections change. I've been in jobs where personalities changed, and in this position, you should never settle in as a police chief because it's a volatile position. You can ask any police chief. 3 to 5 years is the average you would be in this position. But you go in that knowing that there can be changes, and you can do everything right, and you can still be out of a job. So I don't worry about that. You should do the right thing every day. Make sure that you're treating people well, and you're going out and doing the best that you have, and let the chips fall where they may.
There can certainly be a lot of honor in that profession. My last question to you is if you can address the elephant in the room, as it were.
Well, can I bring one more thing? You asked about union labor versus management. One thing in House bill, which was very concerning. Now, the governor can choose the 4 commissioners, and then one is being the mayor. In the House bill, the Police Officers Association sends names to the governor, and he chooses 3 people out of I think out of 6. I think if I read the bill right. So right now,
so the union picks their own
the
boss.
union picks the person that's going to be above the chief. Do you think that's a good model?
Do you?
Do you think that's a good model? You're having the union now supervising the chief over a police department. Management should be able to have the ability to discipline, to do things, and be fair. But having the union choose who the boss is of the chief, I find that a little conflict of interest.
I hear your point, and I'll let it speak for itself. You mentioned just before we started this segment that you've talked to a number of executives and people that run corporations who make business decisions, sometimes about their bottom line, about where their location will be, what part of town might be safest for the future of their company. In conversations like those, have you ever heard a business owner say, gee, the thing I could use is 4 more police commissioners. Maybe then I'd stay in this area of town.
Right. No, it's not a good model. And just take a look at sports teams. You have one general manager, which should be the mayor, and you have the coach. And then they don't have 5 general managers and then a coach.
What do they tell you about why they would stay or leave?
Businesses?
Yes.
Well, they want to see continued success of what we're having right now. They're starting to see it. What they've asked me is, sometimes when they talk about state and local control, they ask me, can that continue some of the successes that we've had and the progress we have? I said, I don't know. I couldn't tell you that because I don't know what type of influence 5 commissioners are going to have over the police chief. Right now, we have the best success to be able to get the things done under this model right now. And if I'm not able to do the job in the way that I think it should be done, that's going to be very restrictive and very hard to do.
Would you consider resigning?
Let's get to that place. I would try to work with, there's a lot of things in every government that I've gone into.
You try to stick with it, even if they go to a panel of commissioners.
You try to overcome things. Listen, we didn't get to our places in life by giving up. So the things is, you work things out. You try to get through things as an adult. You do things, conversations, not openly in the press. You try to make sure that you get things done privately with professional conversations. And that's the way I work, because adults can disagree and are allowed to disagree on things. And you got to make sure you do the best that you can. So to say you would resign because you don't get your way, that's not right.
It might put pressure on them. I didn't know if that was a card you were willing to play in the negotiation.
You don't play that. I mean, the thing is, you work these things out for what's best for the city, what's best for the police officers, what's best for the crime strategy plan forward. And I think I've met people where when you have that conversation, sometimes you can educate people why you're doing things. And, just think about the mayor and I right now. She didn't know me other than she hiring me on a reputation. But it took a while to develop that relationship and to build that trust. And if you come into a system like that, you'd have to do the same thing. So to say immediately, I would resign if I was offered the opportunity. This is not a done deal. That's up to whoever the 5 commissioners, should that come. If a new mayor ever came in, I would still have to do the same thing. It would be an honor to be asked, but at the same time, my type of leadership and the way I like to do policing, or I think the way policing should be done, is it something that I'm going to be able to do?
Well, this is a political program by nature, and the lawmakers in Jefferson City have said they want to take politics out of policing. So if this is the last time we see you on this political program, that would be a sad thing. But we do appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We're back in a moment. Thanks, Chief.
That's
it.
You said an hour and a half.
That's